Hey, hi, hello, welcome to my channel. So if you don't like fondant, guess what? Today is your lucky day because we're not learning how to make fondant. Nope. We're going to make modeling chocolate, which is the mother of all goods when it comes to cake sculpting. Maybe you don't sculpt cakes, but this will help you with just decorating too. This will change your game. I went from this, which was my first ever sculpted cake, to now this. It was a game changer. I could not do this if I did not have modeling chocolate. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay. Here are the 3 bags of candy melts. I'm going to pop this in the microwave for about 30 to 45 seconds. You always need to check out what kind of microwave settings you have. Just do it a little at a time. That's the biggest tip I can give you. All right, here we are. Give it another pull around. All right, getting there. I have done, ew, I hate this sound. I don't like this sound. Ew, anybody else? So I've done up to 9 bags at a time, and then you just calculate how much of the Kayro syrup you're gonna need, or the light corn syrup that you're using. It is a little bit more effort to it, but it's worth it because I use a lot of this stuff. Indeed, I do. Ew, ew, ew. One more time through the microwave. All right. So this should be about the place where you want it. You want to make sure you've melted all of the chocolate though. You don't want any lumps in here because they're harder to work out later. It's okay if you have a few, but I always try to just stir until there's nothing but smooth chocolate. Now, I know people are gonna ask, can I just use white chocolate? No, I don't recommend it. You need all of the crappy ingredients that come in candy melts because it makes for a really good concoction here to make your modeling chocolate. All right, that looks good. So next step, I have 3/4 of a cup of my Kayro syrup. So I'm just gonna pour that in. You can heat it up a little bit. I'm all for simple, so I don't. I just do it this way. All right, and once that's in, this I would say is the only tricky part. You wanna fold it in and you don't wanna overmix it. So a little at a time. Now, as far as ratio goes, I use more than most people would recommend as far as the Kayro syrup. I like my modeling chocolate to be very malleable when I use it. I don't like it to be too stiff, and I do heat it up as I'm working with it. And I find that it's just so much easier to deal with. A lot of people buy Hot Hands modeling chocolate, and it is so stiff, it makes me want to pull my hair out. Okay. So I'm just gonna mix it, and I want you to watch the consistency because that's the most important part to knowing when you're done. You'll see it kind of breaking, and I can see a little bit of the chocolate that hasn't been incorporated. And I'm just gonna mix it a little bit more until it kind of comes together. Can you see this? You wanna make sure that you get that mixed in. So just until that happens, and then you call it. You can overmix it, but it'll just make your life easier if you don't. It's not the end of the world, that's what I'm saying. This is pretty trouble-proof. Okay, I'm satisfied with that, I think. Let me get under here. Yes, I'm satisfied with this. No, I'm not. One more turn of the pan. One more go. One more go. Okay, I'm happy, happy. All right, so next up, let me slide this off. And let me reposition this because I'm anal like that. You take some handy dandy plastic wrap and you go like that. I have skills. Okay, let's just cut that. And then you're gonna take your modeling chocolate and you're gonna turn it right out onto that. And then for good measure, spank it. I'm kidding, okay. I told you, like a child. Then I take one more piece, up and over. I could make a joke here, but I'm choosing not to because I'm new to YouTube and I don't want to run people off quite yet. So I'm gonna fold this up, just make sure it's in there nice and good. Fold this over just like that. Isn't it pretty? And then I set this on the countertop. I actually have a marble top area on my bar, and I'll put it up there. And it'll just set faster if I need to use it today. Some people say let it rest overnight. I actually don't find that necessary. Usually when I'm making this, I use so much of it, I go through it quickly and I need it right then on the spot. So the sooner the better. But if you are coloring it, you will need to wait to let the color develop, and we'll get into that later. But for now, I let mine set until I just feel like it's not warm anymore, and then we'll knead it out. This feels so good. Okay. All right, so I've let the modeling chocolate rest for a bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and start kneading it out in little sections. I let it rest a little bit too long for my taste. I like it to be not so solid yet. I kind of like for it to be a little bit warm and squishy. It's easier to knead out that way, but you can always pop it in the microwave for a couple of seconds. Not too long though. So just for those of you who don't know too much about modeling chocolate, it's not as stretchy as fondant. It holds its form. I think it tastes better. Most people would agree with me. It's great for making little figurines all the way up to these three-dimensional cakes that I make. I find that they really help to make the piece sturdy. Another thing that I love about modeling chocolate, you do have to be careful if you live in a warm environment like me, that these cakes are not outside because they will melt. Troubleshooting, and while I'm telling you this, just kind of watch the texture of the modeling chocolate so you can get a feel for what it is that it needs to be soft and pliable in your hands, and you cannot do this until you work with it yourself. So adjust that ratio of corn syrup. I wouldn't go beyond 3/4 of a cup with the 3 bags of candy melts. You can go as little as maybe 2/3 of a cup, but again, trial and error. This is how I've learned everything that I do. So you can basically use modeling chocolate like you would fondant. You can roll it out. You can use that with Crisco on your mat, or you can use cornstarch. You would also store it the same way that you store fondant. I do want to go through just some troubleshooting. If you don't add enough corn syrup to it, you will find that it crumbles. You can heat it up a little bit and add little drops of corn syrup until you get it how you want it. Also, you might find that there are pebbles in your modeling chocolate. If that's the case, warm it up just a little bit, and I'm telling you, it doesn't take much heating up in the microwave. And you knead it with the heel of your hand, and you kind of rub out those pebbles that you have. So I'm doing like a little demonstration, a small sculpture of an eyeball, because why not? And I want you to just kind of see how nice it is that you can blend all of these things together and you can work with it. And I'm a fan of actually using a steamer to keep it pliable. A little puff of steam goes a long way. So this is what you can do with it. It's amazing. One more thing I'd like to add is you can mix this with fondant and make amazing things with that too. So this is what you can do with it. It's amazing. Practice makes perfect though. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and hit subscribe if you enjoy this, and I'll be back with more.